It's Off the Wall Prepper. And I thought that, this is something that we really never have talked about, but it could be life or death when it comes to this situation. And it's prepping, yep, your feet. Prepping your feet for the SHTF without having really some good shoes. Now, we're talking about shoes and foot care here. Really, this is not the funnest subject. But it's not as fun as new gadgets, new guns, new laser sight for the rifle, unboxing stuff, talking about MREs or nuclear. But let's really think about this, that, you know, if you don't have good shoes, really good shoes during a SHTF situation where you might be out in the wilderness, you might be running, you might be jogging, or maybe you just can't get new shoes because of the economic collapse. So, those work shoes, those dress shoes are for those nights on the town. And you have shoes for basketball, football, and just playing, goofing around, right? You have flip flops. But during the SHTF, you may experience some huge problems with your feet that could put you on your backside in a hurry. And without a good pair of shoes, you're left stranded alongside the trail. The most expensive gear in your pack will not put wings on your feet and let you fly home. If you're covered with blisters or if your ankle is sprained, you're in trouble. Walking shoes are necessary. Hiking shoes or boots. Walking on level ground is not the same as hiking over uneven ground like out here in the forest. Once out in the backcountry, a turned ankle can put your life at risk, and in some cases, you may be miles and miles from civilization, or maybe civilization has crumbled and you can't walk the next few miles for any kind of help or even to get in a safe zone. So cheap shoes are going to produce very terrible results. Spend the money on quality footwear. Know before you need to know that the hiking shoes and boots that you have right on your feet are in good shape. A 2-day hiking adventure is not the time to break in new shoes. I'll tell you what, from being in the Navy, they gave us these black leather boots. They were heavy, they were awkward, they were uncomfortable. And learning to jog, run, and march in them was hell. Blisters, your arch support, all these things were absolutely terrible. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have a good pair of shoes, you better think about it because you don't want an SHTF situation to become more of a nightmare or total torture and pain and put your life in jeopardy. You have to assume the absolute worst case scenario. This means you're going to be carrying your bag, so your shoes have to be able to support your feet and ankles with the added weight of your bag. You're going to have to build up strength in your legs, calves, and ankles. Now, some of you ladies, copycat, RCX, several of you have been walking every day. That's a great thing. With a torn meniscus like I have, I carry a brace in my get home bag, in my bug out bag, because if I have a situation, I need to be able to take care of my knee immediately. But also remember the terrain's gonna be rocky, uneven, wet, cold. Your shoes may get muddy. It may be a good idea to pack additional socks. Your feet are so important. Pick out hiking boots accordingly. Pick out shoes accordingly, providing you with support regardless of how well conditioned you are, how good a shape you're in, or how bad a shape you're in. Also, thinking about ankles can roll easily, and this is going to affect your knee when walking on uneven terrain or out in the forest or up on rocks. So, you want to be able to make sure those boots are high enough to provide ankle support. The boots are available, they're called backpacking boots. They're designed for hiking over rough terrain when carrying a heavy backpack. And you have to assume that the backpack may get heavier, maybe a little heavier than you anticipated. Make sure that you actually try the boot on before you go buying it. It should be snug, laced, and make sure it doesn't cut off your circulation. Make sure that you know that it has an extra grip on the bottom to keep you grounded. Because I'll tell you what, if your foot is sliding forward and backwards, soon you're going to have blisters, and blisters are going to put you down. Or if the heel is it really good, and you're gonna develop blisters, and it slips back and forth, or you may end up turning your ankle, which could put you down. So these things are really, really important. I would say leather is a preferred choice. It's by most measures the best material for footwear. It can get a little expensive. But I also think about trench foot, sometimes called immersion foot. It's a medical condition brought on by prolonged exposure to damp, wet condition. And that's why I said make sure you have extra socks in your get home and bug out bag because you can develop trench foot at temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. In the early stages, the foot may begin to have a decaying smell, absolutely nasty, which is actually dead tissue. And left untreated, trench foot will result in gangrene. So this is serious because it could cost you your life. If you see trench foot, it has some of the signs, numbness, redness, or the foot can even turn blue, deep to poor vascular supply. The name trench foot is from World War One, from fighting soldiers that were in the trenches. They spent days in the trenches with their feet immersed in water. So it's the same thing that we have to consider that we may have to go through lakes, go through puddles. You know, you may slip and fall in the mud. So make sure your first aid kit has some of the things to prevent infection and also to treat blisters. And remember, if you're injured or simply have a sore foot, it can slow you down, and in some cases, it could actually stop you dead in your tracks during a SHTF situation. I think that this is a topic that we need to think about. I think it's something that all of us need to do, and I think the most important thing is to do it now while you have the opportunity. This is OTWP, just coming with some basic down to earth preps. Keep your head on a swivel, do the dang thing on a daily basis, and take care of those feet. Because the last thing you want during a SHTF is to have a bad sprain to your ankle or your feet to be killing you. God bless from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at in this big happy world. Make today count, make every day count until I see you again, my friends. This is OTWP signing out.